this on Tropical Storm Faye. Take it away.
Reynolds and Kyla, yeah, you know, Faye may have crept up on some by surprise in Bermuda. I mean, they had wind gusts over 80 miles per hour there. Fortunately, the weather there now is getting a lot better, but still, it was nasty this morning. Really bad. You saw that video there from Peter Neely, who works here at the Weather Channel. He's a Senior Vice President of Global Forecasting Services. Let's look at Bermuda right now. Look, there's a picture probably from a few minutes ago, and the winds are still blowing at maybe 20 to 30, gusts over 40, but that's because the system is over here, and Bermuda being here, they have wind at 37. So let me tell you what, this part of it was right over Bermuda a few hours ago, and it was really, really bad. And we have some video. I'm going to call for that video and show you exactly how bad it was. Look at this. This was a nasty tropical storm, and there were wind gusts over hurricane force that would be over 75 miles per hour. We know that. That's the kind of conditions that many people woke up to this morning in Bermuda thinking, what was this? Well, actually, the Hurricane Center's forecast was pretty good. It was off a little bit, but it's still a good forecast, and it just goes to show you can't focus on the center part of that cone, because bad weather can extend away from that by quite a long distance. Now let's go back to the graphics and show you on the radar that it's pretty much over for Bermuda in terms of the bad weather. There is some rain shower activity moving through, but the core of Faye is still way up there and headed out that way, over 100 miles away. So gusty northwest winds, clearing skies. Good news for Bermuda as 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm Faye cruises out over the North Atlantic. There it goes. Really no threat to anyone, I hope. I hope no one's out there in the middle of the Atlantic to experience this, but looks like it's going to be dying fairly shortly thereafter. Elsewhere in the tropics, let's look at this guy, Invest 90L. I got my eye on this one, as many of us have over the last few days, because in the satellite pictures, guys, it looks kind of suspicious. There is a center of circulation. We know there's low pressure there. It looks pretty well put together. We've got some big storms around where that low pressure is. That says to me it may not be an invest much longer. In fact, it may be a tropical depression sooner than you think. Now the odds have come up to 90% chance of this thing turning into a depression or a named storm over the next 5 days as it moves off in that direction. So if you live in Puerto Rico or have interest in the Lesser Antilles, maybe even the Bahamas, guys, watch out for this thing. This thing could turn into something, a depression or a storm as it moves that way. But where's it going after that? Let's look at midweek, and let's look at the jet stream positions from the different models next week. I threw in the Euro. There's a midweek Euro jet stream. There's a GFS in there. There's a UK Met in there. There's a Navy in there. There's a Canadian. I put a whole lot of models in there. It's a stew of models. And you know what? They're telling us a consensus that there's going to be a flow like that aloft over the East Coast, and as 90L develops, or whatever becomes of it, goes that way, it'll probably get taken out to sea. But watch out, Bermuda. It could be a close call for you. Again, back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Postel. Hey, Weather Geeks is up next, but we'll be back in 30 minutes.
That's right. Don't miss Dr. Shepard and the gang coming up.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome to Weather Geeks. I am happy to have with me today James Spann. I'm just going to take a pause and sever this moment here. This is a rare treat to have James here with us. He's the chief meteorologist for ABC 3340 in Birmingham, and he has a list of awards, Emmys, Abbies, AP awards, too many to list. And many of you know him from Weather Geeks as well. James, thank you for having coming on.
Anytime I'm on your stage, sir, it is an honor.
Well, I'm not going to buzz you with the buzzer. I don't even have a buzzer here. But I've gotten buzzed
once. You guys need some sound effects like the Weather Brains guys.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten buzzed at least once, but I love coming on Weather Brains. It's such an excellent show. So shout out to all the guys on Weather Brains. Look, one of the reasons we had you on today is that weather and dangerous weather is becoming increasingly important, and the role of the TV meteorologist is increasingly important. Give us your initial thoughts on what you feel your role is as a television meteorologist.
Here's the first thing we have to understand is the fact that our role has changed.
It really has.
When people want to know what the weather's going to do, what do? They look at their phone. They're not going to wait until 11 o'clock and watch your local weathercaster. They know what the weather's going to do. And by the way, let me just say this, chasing a rabbit, most of these apps are bad. We call them crap apps. They're automated. I'm sorry, my television station generic app, the Weather Channel generic app, there's no human involved in this. This is based on model output, and it's going to print some horrible, horrible forecasts. And then they come back and they blame us, like we had something to do with it. So what we have to do is educate people. You know, be careful when you use these. We know you are, and it's great that you can do that. It's convenient for the people. But as television meteorologists, we have to give them value-added products and services. And I think the Weather Channel and I think local broadcasters have to come up with human-powered, digital, easy-to-use products where we're involved. You know, there's a James Spann app. All my products and services are there because it is all human. So instead of these crap apps that most people are looking at, we have to give them value-added products and services and prove that you should go the extra mile to look at what we have to say. What do we do on television late at night? It's not to say people don't watch, but they know what the weather's going to do. So I think we should do more programming, quite frankly, like this. Instead of maybe being on the green wall and doing, you know, sunny skies tomorrow, you know, we should give some really good value-added information. Teach a little bit. Teaching can be fun, you know?
Yeah, I think that's right. You know, people are really interested in with a weather-interested nation. We talk about a weather-ready nation. As I mentioned, it's a weather-interested nation as well. And you know, I think people are watching folks like you when they tune into the local news. I know that people are tuning in for the weather coverage. It's very important. It touches their lives every day.
It does, but the most important thing we do, it's during times of life-threatening weather.
Yes.
And we've got to get better. And I have great concern, Marshall, that in the weather enterprise, we're not saying the same thing. We have different messages.
Yes.
And when it comes to call to action, you know, you watch the TV, one guy's saying, unless you're underground, you won't survive. One guy says, get in your car and drive. One guy says, go to a small room in your lowest floor. Who do you believe?
Yeah, that's a huge issue. I went to the AMS Broadcasters Conference, and after that meeting, as president of the AMS, the next several weeks got on the phone with your colleague, Nate Johnson from Weather Brains, Keith Sider from AMS. We called up the RTDNA or whatever they're called, the radio and
Television News
digital.
Directors
Exactly. You probably know better than I do. And we were asking, look, what can we do? How do we get a consistent message? Look, I know there's competition in the markets. That's a reality. But how do we overcome that in these times like April 27, 2011 to have a consistent message?
And again, people will deliver the message differently. Some people will watch you. Some people will watch me. They'll pick their favorite person. But we have to be consistent. And I have great fear that confusion is creating life-threatening situations. And I'll be honest with you, this Torcon stuff on the Weather Channel, I don't like it. It creates confusion. What if you have your own proprietary index? The Dr. Shepard index is a 3. The James Spann DEFCON is an 8. The Torcon here is a 2. And this is not an issue with Dr. Forbes.
I know you and Greg have talked about this.
This is an issue with confusion. And I've had to fight that in my market. We have to be on the same page. I don't believe we should have proprietary indices. I don't believe everybody should have different call to actions during a tornado. We've got to be on the same page. And as a weather enterprise, we have to get together and work on this. You started a remarkable thing during your year as president of the AMS. Remarkable. You reached out to all the members of the weather enterprise. We have to keep that ball rolling. And not that we're going to say the exact same words, but the message has to be the same.
Well, I know in times like that, there's National Weather Service chat and other things. One of the questions I have, and this may be of interest to the viewers, when you're in a real-time hazardous situation, like, say, a tornadic event, do you even have time to be coordinating with your other colleagues in the market, or do you have ways to get around that? Or
we are on that chat session. The NWS chat is a godsend.
Yes.
And it came out of my market. A couple of guys at the Weather Service in Birmingham dreamed this up about 8 years ago, and God bless them for doing that because it is a remarkable thing. You've got emergency managers, you've got broadcast meteorologists, and the National Weather Service all in a real-time chat session. We can coordinate on the fly during a tornado emergency.
Yes.
And it's not about competition at that point. It's not.
It's about saving lives.
It's about taking care of people. We have to have a servant's heart to be effective during severe weather. Forget what your other guys are. Forget the competition. We are in this business to do one thing, and that's to take care of the American people. And we have to be consistent, and we can coordinate that on those chat sessions on the fly in real time. If you've ever watched me during severe weather, I've got that computer.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it would make most people's head explode. But you've got to be there and see all this incoming traffic, and that's a big part of what we do. It's the coordination with the Weather Service and other meteorologists.
And we've got a little over a minute left. I want to hear your thoughts on how we are communicating uncertainty, because uncertainty is there's uncertainty in a lot of things that we communicate as meteorologists. 40% chance of rain, risk of a thunderstorm. What are your thoughts?
There's a lot of things we can't do, and there's a lot of things that we're not good at. Humility is missing in this science. And we have to be able to communicate that. We're not that good at some things. In some markets, they're good at one type of event, not in another. We have to be very clear, make it perfectly clear. We do not have a good skill set at this type of forecast.
And I believe you actually apologized at one point for an event. You got some flack for that
The big blown forecast for us was in January of this year. Snow, dusting, no travel problems. We had 2 inches and basically a humanitarian crisis.
Sure.
I apologized publicly. People in the weather enterprise were livid. You shouldn't do that. Yes, you should. It's like we attract these narcissists that think they can do no wrong. We can do wrong. And I think if you look your audience in the eyes and say, we missed it, this is what we've learned, and this is what we're doing to be sure it doesn't happen again, they will respect you for that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, we have, we're right more often than we're wrong, but when we're wrong, admit it. I think that develops credibility, and I think that's very important. Next on Weather Geeks, social meteorologists, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But first, meet Nate Johnson, one of your colleagues on Weather Brains. He's our Geek of the Week. He's a meteorologist and executive producer at WRAL TV in Raleigh. He's also a Weather Brains podcast panelist. His favorite meteorological term is thundersleep. That sounds just like Nate. And just took his first flight lesson and plans to start formal training next year. Nate Johnson, this episode's Geek of the Week.
Started my Camry, went to the auction, won a storage locker, found an old guitar. Tracked down the previous owner. Reunited them. Hit the jackpot.
The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Where we go is who we are. And fuels from Exxon and Mobil help your engine run smoother, cleaner, and with better fuel economy. We are energy, and energy lives here.
At CVS Health, we took a deep breath and made the decision to quit selling cigarettes in our CVS pharmacies. Now we invite smokers to quit too with our comprehensive program. We just want to help everyone, everywhere, breathe a little easier. Introducing CVS Health, because health is everything.
Monday on America's Morning Headquarters, going green sounds great, but can you do it and stay high tech? Gadget guru Jen Jolly shows us the tools we need to go eco and tech all the way. Monday, 7 a.m. on the biggest weather hour anywhere, America's Morning Headquarters on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under fair skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Man, these boneless chicken wings are great.
Yeah, I know, and I finally found myself a wingman.
You're going to use the wing as your wingman?
Yeah, for the ladies.
How is that going to help you at all?
It's going to make me irresistible.
Oh, right. Yeah, going to give you that certain je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais what?
Jenna.
Did she mention me by name, or was it just kind of like, was she just talking in general?
I said je ne sais quoi.
I know, but what did she say?
Be a wingman with new all-white meat boneless chicken wings in 3 flavors and save room for creamy cheesecake bites. This is how you Sonic.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Blah, blah, insurance. Person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you get to a better state.
Will new Twizzlers Mixed Berry Bites ever end their rivalry with new Jolly Rancher filled gummy bites? Not today. Bites, little greatness.
Ring, ring. Progresso. I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
Well, James Spann is here with us, and if you follow James on Twitter @Spann, he has over 153,000 followers, so clearly he's doing something right. James, how do you use your Twitter and other social media accounts?
Well, I think you need to be engaged with the audience. It's a two-way conversation. If people ask a question, I'm honored that they ask me a question, even if we might think it's a stupid question in the Weather Enterprise. Understand, Joe Q. Publix, they're not a meteorologist, so it's an honor to answer questions. You don't sleep a lot if you do it right, but you're there serving the public, and it's a marvelous tool that can be used right, and it can be used wrong, too.
Oh, well, yeah. We're seeing all kinds of evidence of it being used wrong. Something else that the National Weather Service is considering is making their Twitter feed operational. What are your thinking and thoughts on that?
It's urgent. That's how so many people get tornado warnings now. I'm not so sure that should be their first way. You should have a weather radio or a smartphone app designed to do that, but yet the Weather Service offices, they have done a marvelous job in almost every instance that I see, not only of pushing warnings and watches and weather information, but the same thing. They're engaging with the audience, listening, answering questions, having chats, and I think it's time for this to be official, operational, whatever the code word is. You know, Facebook, we have an issue with the algorithm that filters so much, the generic reach. You know, if you have 150,000 followers, you might reach 1,000 if you're lucky. So we got some work to do over there. But yes, Twitter is a very important part of this, and they're using it in the right way. And part of what we do on social media is debunking all this garbage that's out there.
Yeah, right. I had a blog just this week on debunking myths out there.
These boneheads, you know, come up with these outrageous forecasts. You know, monster snowstorm that, you know, might be 6 months away. It's clickbait. They want you to come over, you know, click, and they get paid by the click. It's basically a scam.
James, I told someone the other day, look, use the smell test. I mean, if a forecast doesn't smell right to you, it's probably, you know, hype. So, you know, do you see a big issue with this in your local market or even nationally with these, putting out these, oh, there's a hurricane 5 weeks away?
It spreads like wildfire. It's a problem, I think, for everywhere. And understand, for the younger people that are doing responsible forecasts, you know, maybe a high school student or a college student, we're not looking at them.
Absolutely. There are plenty of amateurs that do this just fine.
Very good job.
And some professionals are guilty of this too.
Right. You're right. I've seen pros post model output, 384 hours, one operational run, where you really shouldn't be doing that these days. So you have to use it responsibly. But what's so disturbing, a lot of my time is debunking this bad information that's floating out there in social media. And I'll be honest with you, chasing a rabbit too, we got an issue with the national news media. You know, every storm is a monster storm. Every storm, there's millions of people in the path. And these are minor events. What are we going to do when there's a real monster storm? So much of my time is eaten up debunking stuff that they're seeing from national media journalists and from these clickbait guys want you to come over and look at this snowstorm forecast 8 months in advance. I have better things to do with my time.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's ever going to go away. We have to deal with it, but I wish we didn't.
Well, Jason Samanow, who's a guest on Weather Geek, says, yeah, it's probably not going away, but we have to just educate the public on sources and what sources to trust, and so that they can get a feel for that.
Think before you share, okay? That's
absolutely. Read what you think before you share it and process it.
Right, but it is just rampant. So, but Jason's right. It's not going to go away, and we have to focus on good products and good services without the hype and the hyperbole that goes with all of this stuff, and try and tell them this is what we know, this is what we don't know, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do.
Absolutely. James, we're going to do, speaking of what we've been talking about, we're going to do some myth busting next on Weather Geeks, and we always have fun with this segment. Do you know where Dixie Alley is? And I know that Chuck Boswell probably doesn't like that term. If you thought springtime spawned the most tornadoes, would you be wrong? Plus, the national media always gets the story right, don't they? We'll talk about those next on Weather Geeks.
Our Name Your Price tool helps. Oh, Jamie, you got a little something on the back of your shoe there. Price tag.
Danger. Price tag. Alert. Price tag.
Hey, guys.
Price tag. Alert.
Is this normal? Well, Progressive is a price tag free zone. We let you tell us what you want to pay, and we help you find options to fit your budget.
Alert.
Where are they taking them?
Price tag. Alert.
I don't know.
This seems excessive.
Decontamination in progress.
I don't want to tell you guys your job, but...
Policies without the price tags. Now that's Progressive.
Here's to the man who truly is the best of us.
Who really has the key to the city? With best-in-class payload and best-in-class cargo capacity and an unsurpassed powertrain warranty, you run the town. The all-new Ram ProMaster. Guts, glory, Ram.
Hey, I noticed your car's not in the driveway.
Yeah, it's in the shop. It's gonna cost me an arm and a leg.
That's hilarious.
Sorry.
Should have taken it to Midas. Get some of that Midas touch. They'll tell you what stuff needs fixing and what stuff can wait.
All right. Next time, going to Midas.
High five. Did not see that coming.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package, including an oil change for only $24.99. And here's the deal. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $25. Oil, tires, brakes, everything. Trust the Midas Touch.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready app and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
You're going to want to watch 7 a.m. on AMHQ.
This is a big weather morning.
The biggest weather hour anywhere. What you watch in the morning matters.
Is your weather geeky this morning?
Will that be all set?
Thank you. Ordering Chinese food is a very predictable experience. I order B14, I get B14. No surprises. Buying business internet, on the other hand, can be a roller coaster white-knuckle thrill ride. You're promised one speed, but do you consistently get it? You do with Comcast Business, and often even more. It's reliable, just like Kung Pao fish. Thank you, Ping.
Reliably fast internet starts at $89.95 a month. Comcast Business, built for business.
The Treasure Coast is a special part of Florida. It's why people retire here. It's why Bob and I moved here to raise our daughter, and I believe it needs to be protected. That's why I've worked hard to find funding to clean up the Indian River Lagoon and Loxahatchee. And it's why I voted to cut taxes and fees for our seniors and small businesses. Our community is worth fighting for, and I am just getting started.
No interest for 12 months. So call 888-4CHAMPION today, because every home needs a champion.
If you miss tonight on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's myth-busting time on Weather Geeks, and we're starting with Dixie Alley. It's a region of the South that actually gets its share of tornadoes, and I know that there are some colleagues that don't necessarily like the term, but the National Weather Service does have a graphic that talks about Dixie Alley. So the myth out there is spring is the most active tornado season in Dixie Alley. James, what are your thoughts on Dixie Alley?
The months of November and December are just as active as March, April, and May. A lot of people around the country don't think about that, but we are primed for violent tornadoes in November and December.
Yeah, here we see the graphic there.
Right, had one in Mobile, Alabama, Christmas Day a few years ago. Huntsville, Alabama, November 15, 1989, 23 people killed in EF4. Violent tornadoes have occurred. So for us, there's no difference in the spring and the fall. We have to be ready for both.
Yeah, so when people ask about, is there a tornado season, I think they're so conditioned to think about a hurricane season. We can get tornadoes pretty much at any time around here, in the South at least.
Right, you can, but those well-defined spikes come in spring and then again in fall. In the deep South. It's amazing what can happen on Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day where we are down here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's important. I want to note one thing. Due to some socioeconomic reasons, the damage from some of these tornadoes in the South can be significant compared to some of the regions out in the major tornado alley where some of the homes and structures are built for those types of events. Let's go to the myth number 2 here. When it comes to the weather, the national media always gets it right. Now, you've alluded to this some, but I know you've got a little more to say about that.
So, look, and let me just say this. We have an inside plant at a national network and a news organization, Ginger Z. Thank the Lord for Ginger Z.
Ginger's great.
She is a degreed meteorologist. She is an accomplished scientist. Her academic work, her career, she's a role model for women that should be in science. We've got an inside plant, but Ginger can't change the world. It is the culture, it seems like, of these national news organizations to hype up every stinking little storm that comes along. I assume they do it for ratings, but you can find maybe there's one wildfire, there's one dying hurricane. There was a case not too long ago where they had 2 monster, one of their favorite terms is monster storms. We had a dying, dissipating depression and a Category 1 hurricane, both way offshore, and it said millions of people in the path. These are fish storms. So, what they did, they said, okay, they're generating waves, okay, sure. Which, we had the rough surf, and there was an issue there.
Right.
But millions of people were in the path, and they were not monster storms. I know monster storms. They're not. So if you hear it over and over every time they open the newscast with monster storm, millions in the path, unprecedented, that's another word they like to say.
Sure, yeah.
What happens when we have a real threat?
Right.
People will not listen to that over and over.
Wolf.
It's this cry wolf problem, and it's got to stop.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I have no control over it, but again, it goes back to, I just got to go back and debunk what you just heard on this national newscast.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. And what happened one day, Diane Sawyer said something that was incorrect. She said after a tornado in January of 2012, there was no warning. There was an excellent warning. She insulted those in the academic world, those in emergency management, those that work in operational and research meteorology, a warning 30 minutes in advance.
Right, yeah, that's a favorite I've noticed to say that there was. I think it's just sort of in the playbook.
It's like, don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
Sure.
What do you mean? So I kind of challenged her to a debate, and to their credit, they came back the next night and did a story on how good the warning process worked. She never admitted she was wrong, but I didn't want that. I just wanted the story to be set straight because, well, the national media says there was no warning. These warnings are no good. They were excellent. So I wish we could just sit down with the national journalists in a non-confrontational way, which is what you do. You are so good at this, and let's get together and let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I could never do news stories about the judicial system or critique an opera. I do weather. They can't know everything, but we can help them.
Well, and we've got to have James back at some point because as clearly he has quite a bit to say, and I'm so honored to have you. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the show. You can find us on Twitter at WXGeeks, TWC, and we've also got a Facebook page where you can find clips from today's show. Thank you again for joining us on Weather Geeks James Spann.
How do we get a little fun in the sun for free? I stayed one time,
We stayed another time.
and now we're all staying one night free.
Great endings begin here. Right now, when you book at any of these Choice hotels and take 2 separate trips, you earn 1 night free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Let's do a reality check. Kids will be kids. Dogs will be dogs. So let's get some paint that's more than just paint. Made to stand up to this and look beautiful for years. Let's lose the old marks and messes and stop new ones in their tracks. Let's worry-proof our walls. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Bear Premium Plus with Easy Clean Finish starting at $25.97 a gallon.
Who the heck wants to hear actors talk?
Meet the unsung heroes of innovation who defied the doubters and changed the world. On How We Got to Now, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central, only on PBS.
Guys, you're not going to believe this.
Watch this. Sam always gives you the good news in person, bad news in email.
Good news. FedEx has flat rate shipping. It's called FedEx One Rate, and it's affordable.
Yeah. That's great news.
And we have to work the weekend. Great. More good news. It's Friday.
Woo! Ship a pack via FedEx Express Saver for as low as $7.50.
For the year? Hi, sorry, just want to say, I bundled home and auto with State Farm, saved $760. Love this guy. So sorry.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky!
Savings worth talking about. State Farm.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 select tires, you get the 4th tire free, instantly. Plus, get 6 months special financing on purchases of $199 or more. Trust the boys to get you there.
I let him know every time I save $1.
Every time.
Now there is a tool made for you. Introducing Savings Catcher from Walmart. It compares prices to top stores in your area. If there's a lower advertised price, Walmart will give you the difference on an e-gift card.
Oh, money!
For a limited time, get 2 times the Savings Catcher reward dollars when you redeem to your Bluebird card.
Every penny counts.
Yep. Join the millions of people saving money with Savings Catcher. Go to walmart.com/Savings Catcher. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Discover Brookside and discover an exciting combination of tastes. Rich dark chocolate covering soft centers, flavored with exotic fruit juices. It's chocolate and fruit flavors like you've never experienced before. Discover Brookside.
Legend goes, he has appeared before every major hurricane.
Tomorrow night, the Weather Channel unravels a new tale of weather legend.
We don't look forward to his visits because we know a catastrophe is about to happen.
American Supernatural. Tomorrow night at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
You know, it doesn't matter where here is because you are here, we are here, and we're having this moment together, and it's wonderful. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. We've got two big stories that are dominating the weather coverage this Sunday.
Yeah, so here we go. We've got today's severe weather threat and a lot of action in the tropics. Whatever you do today, though, we want you to send us pictures.
Yes.
Keep them clean, everybody, of what your weekend looks like. Hashtag your weekend. And check this out. Hey, I was born in Hartford, Connecticut. This is from Dan Garland. Beautiful shot from Hartford there. It looks like you can see City Center and the Connecticut River. Ah, that's family. That's home for me.
You do know your places pretty well.
Man.
Hartford is a fine town. Gotta love that place. Let's see. Do we have any other pictures up there? I guess that was the only one. We'll
it was a good one, though. Hartford's a good one.
One picture that we're going to be dealing with is going to be the specter of severe weather today.
Yeah,
We've got to talk about that.
Not a fun topic, but we want to make sure you know what's heading your way. And boy, when we start to see these torcons come out, we know that it's getting serious.
Yeah, it looks like that area is kind of like in the shape of like a kidney bean. Well, it's going to be a kidney punch you're going to be taking today. We've got a torcon of 3 out of 10 right now for north central Oklahoma. It's the tornado condition index within 50 miles. Very troubling.
Right. So we want to get straight to our wonderful experts that we have here at the Weather Channel. You don't find this information anywhere else and tell you what this means for your day.
I think it's time for Greg Postel.
Dr. Postel.
Greg, if you can, let's migrate through these waters and tell us what to expect.
I'll do my best. Reynolds and Kyla, thank you guys very much. You know what? Looking at the water vapor imagery is always a really cool thing to do, and it's really informative as well. It shows us this kind of satellite imagery, the motions in the atmosphere at high altitudes. And it doesn't take a whole lot to see, look at these elements moving through about like that. There's a big, powerful dip in the jet stream taking shape over the U.S., and that this time around means some big weather implications. In other words, severe weather is coming. Look at this little swirl. You can actually see this guy migrating this way. It's bringing some snow to Colorado in the higher elevations. There's a cold pocket aloft. That's just part of the energy there. In addition to that, associated with that is really strong winds, over 150 miles per hour up at about 30,000 feet, guys. That core of energy right there, jet max, is going to be rotating this way out over the plains. And as it does, the atmosphere will adjust to that. And by doing that, the cork is going to get ripped open. And we're going to see the development of severe storms earlier this evening, I think, out across parts of the high plains. And those will continue on well into the night, probably throughout the night and through tomorrow. So here's today's forecast, where we think severe weather will be later on today. Right now, nothing's going on there. But look at the hazards we expect. Hail, there we go, and we have damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes are all possible. One of the things that's going to help the storms grow big and strong is the energy source. There's going to be a pretty moist flow of air flowing northward out of the Gulf of Mexico. And watch as I step for hour by hour. You can see these numbers go up. Dallas gets up to near 70 overnight tonight and tomorrow morning. That moisture flow is the buoyant energy, will serve as the buoyant energy for the thunderstorms to go really tall and strong. And as they do that, they will encounter those strong winds aloft and even become stronger than that. We're already seeing some storms out here across parts of Texas, south of Dallas. This is all part of that increase in moist flow out of the Gulf of Mexico. So this is just kind of the beginning. Those storms aren't severe, but watch out later on today when these strong winds move into place. They will help those strong storms grow even stronger. So here by tomorrow, say 8 o'clock tonight, look at this jet stream. My goodness, you can't make one different than that, better than that. So we're going to have winds aloft like that. We're going to have winds near the ground like that. And when they're kind of pointed in the same direction, but increase quickly in speed with height, we see squall lines. And that's what we're going to see, I think, this time around. Let's time it out and show you that. As we go through the evening hours, watch out for big storms developing across this region overnight tonight. But look, they hold together. They grow even stronger as those upper-level winds move in. Those strong dynamics come in. And by lunchtime tomorrow, we might have a raging squall line ongoing from southern Missouri down through Texas. And inside of that squall line, watch out for damaging winds, possible supercells, and even some tornadoes maybe inside of there. And this is going to live long beyond that. So for all of that and how far it goes, I'm going to send it over to Kyla and Reynolds. Back to you guys.
All right, tough guy. I'm going to pick it up where you left off. And you were talking about the rainfall. We've had some of that rainfall moving through places like Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, though, it's kind of a mixed bag. You have 75 degrees, scattered clouds out there, overcast a few places, and the rain coming through all but a certainty. Let's talk about where we're going to pick it up on Monday and take the tumble from Monday into Tuesday. And on the menu, we've got the chance of severe storms. And as Dr. Postel told us, all the elements are there. You got the jet stream dip. You've got moisture coming in from the south, creating a very unstable atmosphere. And not only with that in your daytime heating, you have the jet stream to deal with. Low-level jets going to play a part, which is going to cause some of those large thunderstorms to actually rotate. Those supercells could spawn some heavy rainfall, some deadly lightning at times. Can't rule out some strong straight-line winds, maybe even some tornadic activity. As we take a look at the Torcon for tomorrow, East Texas, 3 out of 10. We tumble our way up towards Tennessee and even into Arkansas, 4 out of 10 on the Torcon. And then even as we look into parts of the Delta and Louisiana, western Mississippi, 4 out of 10 there too. So this has the potential of affecting millions of people. Now, with a Torcon index of 4, we might have the large hail, the damaging winds, and the chance of tornadoes. And then as we ease in tomorrow night, it doesn't mean the show is over. In fact, in some places, it's just going to get starting into your opening act. From Indianapolis to Nashville, Atlanta, Tallahassee, even Birmingham and Montgomery, you can't rule out the Thunder Boomers. And notice in terms of your Torcon there, 3 out of 10. These numbers might fluctuate, so just be ready for some potential adjustments, even in eastern Tennessee near Knoxville. 3 out of 10 for the time being. For parts of Alabama and North Georgia, 3 out of 10 also for tomorrow night. Now, we've got the jet stream, we've got the area low pressure, the fronts. It's going to grow some legs and march its way to the east, affecting all the eastern seaboard with a chance of scattered showers and storms. Can't rule out of a chance of seeing some flash flooding in some places where that water piles up. As we wrap it up, from Pittsburgh to Charleston to Knoxville to Atlanta, yeah, a lot of areas where we're going to be seeing that threat of severe weather as we get into tomorrow's forecast. Kyla, let's send it over to you.
All right, Reynolds, we are going to Nashville, Music City. Beautiful place there. Yeah, take a look at Vanderbilt's campus. I don't see any students studying outside. About 64 degrees. That's the library, by the way, that you're looking at Vanderbilt. And you know what I love about Nashville? Any day of the week, you can go see live music. It's fantastic. And you'll see these people that are like backup singers on albums and just incredible songwriters everywhere. The whole town is filled with them. Well, we're going to see a cool down after the stormy weather in Nashville. It's going to be through midweek that you start to see the difference. Your average this time of year in Nashville, about 73 degrees. But look at this. Tomorrow's high, 84. Then here comes the stormy weather, and Wednesday's high, 61. That's a 22-degree drop. You can sure bet that's courtesy of the jet stream bringing all of that cool air in as it starts to track towards the east. Big dip in the jet stream. So that means you've got cool air meeting up with warm air. That also means that you get the stormy weather. But watch what happens to the temperatures. So tomorrow, Denver, 59 degrees for your high. That's about 9 degrees off your average. You can see Oklahoma City, 17 degrees off your average, and your high just in the upper 50s. By Tuesday, all of that cooled air sliding on in. See Cincinnati there in the 70s on Tuesday. By Wednesday, a high of just 65 degrees, and you really see 60s right throughout a good portion of the country. Chicago, just a high of 59 for midweek. And we take a look at Cincinnati, another place looking out for some of this stormy weather. Their average 68 tomorrow, 80 degrees. It's going to feel downright summer-like by Tuesday into the 70s. But look at Thursday, 62 degrees. So a couple of days and we go 18 degrees right down the hill with those temperatures. Reynolds.
Thanks so much. Cooler temperatures are nice, but how about some snow? We're going to talk about flurries in your forecast coming up. It's cool, literally, figuratively. That story and more coming up. Plus, we're going to talk football all ahead on Weather Center Live.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High, 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low, 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Blah, blah, insurance. Person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you get to a better state.
With diabetes, it's tough to keep life balanced. I don't always have time to eat like I should. That's why I like Glucerna shakes. They have slowly digestible carbs to help minimize blood sugar spikes.
Glucerna, the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
Where we go is who we are. And fuels from Exxon and Mobil help your engine run smoother, cleaner, and with better fuel economy. We are energy, and energy lives here.
Again.
When we're having this much fun, why quit? And Bounty has no quit in it either. It's 2 times more absorbent than the leading ordinary brand, and then stays strong so you can use less. Watch how 1 sheet of Bounty keeps working, while their 2 sheets just quit. Bounty, the no-quit picker-upper.
What's the best way to tackle football season? New Bounty NFL prints, available at Walmart.
Can you start tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's share the news tomorrow.
Today we're fairly busy. Tomorrow we're booked solid.
We close on the house tomorrow.
Want one of these opened up? Because tomorrow we go live, everybody.
It's a day full of promise. And often, that day arrives by train.
Big day today? Even bigger one tomorrow.
When CSX trains move forward, so does the rest of the economy. CSX, how tomorrow moves.
Oh yeah, that's going down. Oh, yeah. Let's get some rocks back.
Health can change in a minute. So CVS Health is changing healthcare, making it more accessible and affordable, with over 900 locations for walk-in medical care and more on the way. Minute Clinic, another innovation from CVS Health, because health is everything.
Started my Camry. Drove to her wedding. Did not forever hold my peace.
The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
This is a pip.
It's part of a Hershey's bar.
We break it.
We bite it.
We sneak it.
We smush it. We savor it.
We love it.
Hershey's is mine. Yours.
Our chocolate.
My goal was to finally get in shape. Not to be focusing again on my moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis. So I finally made a decision to talk to my dermatologist about Humira. Humira works inside my body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to my symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis saw 75% skin clearance on Humira, and the majority of people were clear or almost clear in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Set a new goal today. Ask your dermatologist about Humira, because with Humira, clear skin is possible.
Hi there, everyone. Well, let it snow. Yeah, it is snowing for parts of the Rocky Mountains. See all that white stuff blowing around. It's been a while, right? But we're getting used to this again. We've got very fast winds aloft. We're getting that uplift along our jet stream there, so we start to get that snowmaking ability, and that is why we've got the winter alerts up. You see winter weather advisories in parts of Wyoming, and also right on down the Rocky Mountains there. Aspen, Lake City, Steamboat Springs, places that when you think of the names of those towns, you think skiing. And that's exactly what we're seeing as you take a look at the radar here. You can see Aspen getting a little snow there. Not really making it into Denver proper, but certainly if you're driving along I-70, once you get west of Denver, head up into the mountains, that's where we're going to see it. We're seeing about 3 to 5 inches of snow between now and Tuesday coming down. That's kind of nice if you're a skier, right? People looking forward to that. So we get to give you a little good news if you've been waiting for the snow. Reynolds.
Yay, good news. Love that stuff. Hey, if you're a sports fan, we got some interesting news for you because we got some big NFL matchups this weekend, but there was one that caught our eye. Cold weather Packers are heading south to battle the Miami Dolphins, and Paul Goodwill has been digging deep into the weather data. It's a look at Sunday's game that you just won't see anywhere else.
It is week 6 of the NFL season, and we're talking about a battle of extreme weather on the football field. The Green Bay Packers versus the Miami Dolphins. And the Packers actually do pretty well in cold weather. Who can forget the iconic frozen tundra of Lambeau Field? We're talking about the 1967 National Football League Championship game between the Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, later dubbed the Ice Bowl. And we're talking some pretty impressive weather stats for that game. Check this out. The air temperature during the game ranged between 6 degrees above zero and 19 below zero. The wind chill at its worst, we're talking 40 below there. And the final score, the Packers did win 21-17. Now, the Packers, they do really well in the cold in the postseason. In fact, they are 15-5 when the temperature is 34 degrees or colder in the postseason. Now, what about the regular season games? Well, not as impressive here. They are 7-7 at home when air temperatures at game time 10 degrees or colder. Now, what about if we flip this around and talk about the warmer weather? Well, not super impressive here either at all. In fact, since 1991, they are 10-9 with game time temperatures of 81 degrees or warmer. That's just a little bit better than 50-50. The last time they played at 81 degrees or warmer, well, back in 2009 against the Bucs in Tampa. And they lost that game, which brings to mind what's going to happen this Sunday. This week's game played in Miami at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the forecast, well, it is typical South Florida weather here. A game time temperature of 85 degrees, a chance of some thunderstorms. It is going to be hot. It's going to be muggy as well. But it's not just the heat here across Miami. It's just playing in Miami. The Packers don't do pretty well. In fact, these are the game time temperatures of the 7 games they've played in Miami. The Packers have only won 1 time out of 7 times playing in Miami. So again, it's not just the heat, it's also the humidity definitely impacting the Packers here. In fact, we're expecting the heat index during the game in Miami on Sunday to be in the triple digits at some point during the game. So perhaps it's the humidity as well impacting the Packers. But again, they don't play too well in the heat. They don't really play well at all in Miami. But right now, Las Vegas favors the Packers by 3.5 points. My prediction, by looking at how they do in the weather, the warm weather, and Miami, I say pick the Dolphins and the points and enjoy a grilled cheese sandwich. Back to you.
Do you get the sense there was a temperature change that Paul has alienated himself from the entire upper Midwest? I think so, too. Paul, don't go to Wisconsin. Hey, take a look at this in Green Bay, or for the Green Bay-Miami game. Again, they're playing Miami, 86 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Another game we're going to follow for you very quickly is going to be in Charlotte. Well, actually, it's going to be in Cincinnati, but it will involve the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. 59 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Wind out of the east-southeast at 6 miles an hour. All right, Kyle, over to you.
Thank you, Reynolds. Well, we have new systems coming together in the Atlantic right now, and Greg Postel is watching everything very closely. Just ahead, our storm specialist will tell us if and when they could impact our weather back home. Plus, folks in Japan and India getting hit by extreme storms. We'll show you when we come back.
We were flattered when Regenerist beat $100 cream. Flabbergasted when we creamed a $300 cream. For about $30, Regenerist Microsculpting Cream hydrates better than over 15 of America's most expensive luxury creams. Regenerist. Olay, your best beautiful.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
For the year. Hi, sorry, just want to say I bundled home and auto with State Farm, saved $760. Love this guy. So sorry.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Savings worth talking about. State Farm.
Somewhere out there, a high-tech factory is being built, preparing to manufacture world-class products. And it's happening right here in America. At WeatherTech, American workers in American factories are creating the highest quality automotive accessories, including laser-measured, custom-fit floor liners. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech, proudly made in America.
Tonight at 10. The Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Tonight at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Edward Jones.
With nearly 7 million investors,
Oh, hey, Neil. How are you?
you'd expect us to have a highly skilled call center.
Kevin, Neil Hawley's on line 1.
Okay, great. And we do. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
Musical chairs. Fun, right? Well, not when your travel rewards card makes it so hard to get a seat using your miles. That's their game. The flights you want are blacked out, or they ask for some ridiculous number of miles. Honestly, it's time to switch to the Venture card from Capital One. With Venture, use your miles on any airline, any flight, anytime, no blackout dates. And with every purchase, you'll earn unlimited double miles. From now on, no one's taking your seat away. What's in your wallet?
Awesome! I've been Claritin Clear for 8 days.
At the first sign of your allergies, doctors recommend taking 1 Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
21 days. 14 days of continuous relief.
Live Claritin Clear every day.
This Halloween, when things go bump in the night, inspire daring pursuits that thrill and delight. For 5 days only at PetSmart, save 50% on hundreds of Halloween items like costumes, toys, dog treats, and rawhide. PetSmart.
Alaska. It's the place you've always dreamed of, where the ordinary is simply extraordinary, and the views, like your memories, go on forever. When was the last time a vacation took your breath away? Alaska.
I think one of the greatest joys of being a mother, and now a grandmother, is watching your kids grow up and capturing those memories. But when I was overweight, I realized I was always the one taking the pictures because, well, pictures, they don't lie. I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem.
With Nutrisystem's Little Black Dress Kit, now you can lose weight fast. Lose 5 pounds in your first week or your money back, guaranteed.
And now I'm back in the pictures. Hey, I'm even taking selfies.
Order your 28-day My Way plan right now, including Little Black Dress Kit. Get 1 week of specially selected meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes free, 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes free, plus start slimming your belly.
We've all had those before pictures, but trust me, it's the after pictures that feel the very best.
Call 855-708-THIN and lose your first 5 pounds fast.
Solution. Make the call now.
Call 800-718-6030. 7 a.m. on AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
You know, there are those days when weather is just kind of quiet. Today is not one of those days, especially in the tropics.
Yeah,
it's
just
insane.
A wild time in the tropics. And today, we're going to share with you some images from the tropics, some views that we've gotten there, pictures and video that have come in. And in fact, we're going to take you first to India. Look at this. Extreme conditions from Hudhud this morning.
That's right. Of course, this in the Indian Ocean. We're just seeing the effects of it. I mean, millions of people being affected by the strong winds, the heavy rain. You've got, and guess what, over 100 miles per hour. Flooding,
Crazy.
all but a certainty, and a normally high tide also coming into fray, up to 10 feet higher than normal. It's crazy.
And you think about the population there is so huge, and we've got low-lying land, helps exacerbate the problems too, so it's been tough for them there. Look at those trees just going right over. And then we're going to take you to Japan, where you may have heard of this one, Vongfong. This is Kagoshima, Japan, that you're looking at as the storm was approaching them. And you can just see all the streets were flooded, people evacuated. And look at all of this. It was just battering the coast in Japan. And of course, we were all watching out in Okinawa yesterday. A lot of our service members are there, so very big concern. A lot of people here in the U.S.
Those islands have been like a punching bag. They really have been from all these storms over in the Pacific. And to give us a better handle on what to expect in days to come, let's go to the man.
Yeah, we've got a secret weapon. We're going to the lab to our one and only Dr. Greg Postel.
Kyle and Reynolds, you guys are so kind. Thank you very much. You know what? We are watching Bermuda because they got drilled this morning by Tropical Storm Faye, which gave them over 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a lot of rain. And here's a picture of them right now. This is why I'm showing you this, because right now their conditions are rapidly improving. But I'll tell you what, they were surprised a few hours ago about how fierce it actually was there. Right now, 31 sustained gust to 45 at Hamilton Airport in Bermuda, and there is the center of circulation, pretty tightly wound up ball of thunderstorms there. That is Tropical Storm Faye at 70 miles per hour in the wind speed, moving away rapidly from Bermuda. So there the conditions are improving, and that's a good thing, because I'll tell you what, these guys in Bermuda, I think, maybe woke up to something they weren't expecting. We have some pictures now from Bermuda from this morning. Look at this. Actually, this is video taken from Bermuda by Dr. Peter Neely, who's our Senior Vice President of Global Forecasting Services here at the Weather Channel. And this was from the house that he was staying in. And look at some of this damage, not just from the trees or to the trees. There was also structural damage as well. And we know that some of the gusts were over 75, and in particular, some gusts in the low 80s that are official, and there may be some even higher than that. So, you know, this was forecasted to move a little bit farther to the east than it actually did. And so maybe they were caught off guard by that, but it was still a good forecast by the Hurricane Center. And you just have to remember that these things can extend their bad weather far beyond where the center of the cone takes the storm. So anyway, there it is. It's 70 miles per hour on its way over the open Atlantic, not to hopefully bother anybody, but you never know. Maybe there's some ships out there, but this thing will be weakening as it heads out to sea. I'm going to move now over to something closer to the Caribbean, Invest 90L. This guy's, we've been watching this very closely for the last few days, because some of the models several days ago were suggesting that a pretty potent tropical system will move through the Caribbean and maybe get close to the Bahamas later this upcoming week. We'll see if that happens. I'll show you in a second. Right now in the visible satellite pictures, I'll tell you what, it's called an invest now, but it may be closer to a depression depending on how long these thunderstorms hang on to where the center of low pressure is, we think. So as long as it holds on to those thunderstorms today consistently, I think the Hurricane Center will go ahead and upgrade this from an invest, an area that they're investigating, to a depression. We will see about that. Look at some of these winds here in the islands. Not bad yet. It's a pretty small system, but I think this will brush by them and bring some gusty winds and some heavy rains. Right now, the Hurricane Center gives us a high likelihood, obviously a 90% chance of this thing becoming a depression or a named storm on that track over the next few days. But what about thereafter? This is critical. Midweek, this upcoming week, jet stream positions. You know what? I put jet streams from the different models on here. There's the Euro, GFS is in another color, the Navy's in another color, the UK Met, the Canadian, a whole lot of them are on there. It's a potpourri of jet stream positions middle of next week. And look where we think 90L, or what becomes of it, is going to go. It's going in that way, and then I don't see how it's going to go much further west than that. I think it's going to get picked up by those jet streams and the winds, the west winds aloft, and the dip in the jet stream, and take it out to sea. But you know what? Bermuda, watch out. This could get pretty close next week. Guys, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Postel. So we are continuing to track rain and thunderstorms today, but tomorrow the threat gets even worse.
You're right about that. We're going to be seeing possibly the threat of straight line winds, maybe tornadoes. Stick around. We'll give you the details.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Now on Weather Center Live, rocking and rolling this Sunday with a nasty end to your weekend. The areas where you may need to take cover as we track hail, damaging wind, and even tornadoes.
But wait, there's more. That's right. It's not just on land, but also what's going on at sea that has our attention. The impacts being seen and felt today with Hud and Vongfong on the move.
And let us help you get where you're going. It may not be dangerous weather, but rain could make your drive home from the weekend a nasty one. Weather Center Live starts right now. And we welcome you into Weather Center Live. We're so glad you're here, hanging out on your Sunday with us. I'm Kyla Grogan.
You got that right. I'm Reynolds Wolf. Thanks so much for watching our show today. By the way, a little inside baseball. If you can, send us pics of what your weekend looks like. Hashtag your weekend. Not my weekend.
But your weekend.
Your weekend. That's right.
Okay, let's get to it.
Let's go to Jeff. Jeff Smigels. He works overnight. He just got off to find thick frost and 27-degree temperatures.
Wow, look at that. In Mercer, PA, that looks like snow on the ground to me.
Yeah.
But I guess
it's,
kind of looks like snow. Wow, that's a chilly one. You know, the Northeast, everybody, all my friends in the Northeast were saying that they were waking up to really cold temperatures. Yeah, we're almost there, everybody. Now we're going to go to Stamford, Connecticut. My mom took this picture. Carol Grogan. I know she's watching. She watches every day. Would you believe it?
Way to go, Mom.
This is beautiful. So it's Stamford, Connecticut, southern Connecticut, and it's the Cove, which looks right out onto Long Island Sound. It's where my mother goes for her morning walk.
So you could say she had cobalt blue skies, but there's more to that. You say she got the tree line and she has the water and she's got the rocks too. But she brings in the bird.
She got the bird, and she got him in the picture before he took off, right? Seagulls.
Amazing shot.
Thanks, Mom, for sending that in. Send yours in, everybody. But listen, right now, things are pretty calm for many people, but that's not going to be the case later this evening. Here's a live look. You're looking at Oklahoma City and St. Louis. Now, St. Louis already starting to look kind of ominous and stormy. Oklahoma City, not bad today, but it is going to be coming into your forecast this evening.
That's right. And as we keep a sharp eye on this area, which is really going to be under the gun over the next several days and then drifting off towards the east, we need an expert for that. We're going to go to our severe weather expert to tell us more about today's threat.
Yeah, let's head over to Dr. Greg Postel, watching it all.
Kyla and Reynolds, thank you guys very much. You know, I'm going to look at this whole evolution through the water vapor imagery, a satellite picture that really effectively shows the motion in the atmosphere at high altitudes. And you know what? It doesn't take a whole lot to see that the elements in this picture are doing something like that. You know what that means? There's a big dip in the jet stream right there, and it's going to bring some big weather with it along the way. Look at this little swirly inside of that jet stream. You know what? That's a cold pocket aloft right in there. That is actually bringing some snow right there to the higher elevations of Colorado. We've seen some pictures. Guys, if you have pictures out there, again, like Kyle and Reynolds were saying, tweet us out. I want to see some snow pictures in the mountains there. But anyway, with that dip in the jet stream, we've got also not just the cold pocket, but associated with that, some really strong winds over 150 miles per hour at about 30,000 feet. That core of fast winds is going to slowly propagate that way, and as it does work its way over the southern plains, it's going to rip open the atmosphere and unleash the instability that develops there and bring some big thunderstorms to the region, probably by tonight at the soonest. So I think watch out right in here, and we'll see some big storms as that jet streak moves in and the atmosphere adjusts to that and creates some storms here tonight, I think. Not today. I think it's not going to happen until much later across the high plains there. Those storms will be getting very strong, I think, over time, in part because of those strong winds moving in and getting the storm stronger. But also, the moisture return from now until tomorrow is going to be significant. The dew points are going to increase. The moisture level is going to increase. That means the energy for the storms is going to increase across the region. Dew point by tomorrow morning will be near 70 in Dallas, probably near 70 all across much of the mid-south here. And that is going to be enough fuel to make big storms across the way. way. Right now in the region across eastern Texas, we're seeing some non-severe thunderstorms, but what this is a sign of the moisture return coming northward out of the Gulf of Mexico, and a little lift out ahead of that as well. So let's watch that powerful jet streak, call them a little core of fast winds, come into the region, and by tomorrow is going to be right there. And you know what? With those really fast winds blowing like that at high altitudes, the winds below that at the surface will be kind of out of the same direction. So when you have that strong wind aloft but kind of pointing in the same direction as the low level wind, you end up typically with the kind of squall line situation that I think we're going to have. So let's time it out now. Beginning tonight, we're going to see some big storms out here. These could produce high winds, hail, possibly a tornado, but look how everything kind of holds on through the nighttime hours. Typically when we see storms weaken overnight, this thing is going to maybe be even intensifying. Watch out for a squall line even at noon tomorrow, and inside of that squall line, watch out for damaging winds, hail, and a possibility of a spin-up tornado, too, every now and then. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. And we heard it from a Maine man. It looks like the southern plains certainly going to be affected by some rough weather that's headed on the way. A severe thunderstorm outbreak forecasted to begin later this evening.
Yeah, and we've even got a Torcon index of 4 for East Oklahoma and North Central Texas. Joining us to talk about tonight's storms, Daniel Huckabee with the Dallas-Fort Worth branch of the National Weather Service. We consider them our colleagues. They do such great work. Daniel, thanks for joining us. And what kind of weather should people in your region be preparing for?
Well, as you mentioned, we'll be watching a line of storms developing to the northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth area late tonight, probably around midnight, and it should be impacting the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex perhaps between 3 and 7 a.m. early Monday morning, and that's a time when a lot of people are going to be asleep. So we certainly want people to keep abreast of the weather, certainly keep your weather radio close by, and certainly wind damage with a squall line, not unlike what we saw on October 2nd here in this area, winds 60, 75 miles per hour. And as you said, we could have some embedded tornadoes as well in that line.
Dan, you guys make forecasting in on form. You guys do this quite a bit. Is there anything in particular that stands out about this particular system in October?
Well, October is, spring is the main severe weather season for us, but October is a secondary severe weather season we often forget about. The main concern with this is that unlike October 2nd, when the squall line came through during the afternoon, a lot of people are awake. This one's going to be coming through in the early morning, and we want everyone to be aware that when they go to bed tonight, that this could be arriving before the morning commute.
All right, we thank you so much for that information and getting the word out today. Again, that's Daniel Huckabee with the Dallas-Fort Worth National Weather Service.
Okay, folks, as you heard, it's going to be a very busy afternoon, evening tonight, and possibly several days, Colin.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to stay on top of the developments. You can find coverage here all day and all night. You can also get weather updates on your weather.com or your app from your phone.
Let's take these piggies out for new carpet. No, not those. These. Let's get in touch with texture. Something with a twist. Let's look at loops and get a feel for patterns in all sorts of colors. But let's not break the bank. Then, let's get it rolled out right. The perfect carpet? Yeah. Let's bring it all the way home. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, save 10% on carpet with your Home Depot credit card.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Blah, blah, insurance. Person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you get to a better state.
Each year, 17 billion toilet paper tubes are thrown away. Enough to fill the Empire State Building. Twice. Toss the tube for good with Scott Naturals Tube Free.
Monday on America's Morning Headquarters, going green sounds great, but can you do it and stay high-tech? Gadget guru Jen Jolly shows us the tools we need to go eco and tech all the way. Monday, 7 a.m. on the biggest weather hour anywhere, America's Morning Headquarters on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
On AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Get up to 20% off and 1,000 rewards points at bestwestern.com with a swipe, a tap, or a click. Get up to 20% off and enjoy breakfast, free high-speed internet, and 1,000 rewards points. Only at bestwestern.com.
There it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Great. This is the last thing I need.
Seriously? The last thing you need is some guy giving you a new catalytic converter when all you got is a loose gas cap. Let's take this puppy over to Midas and get you some of that good old Midas touch. Dude, you know what? I'll drive. I really didn't think this through.
Get the Midas Touch maintenance package, including an oil change for only $24.99. And here's the deal. Use your Midas credit card and get a rebate of $25. Oil, tires, brakes, everything. Trust the Midas Touch.
For over a decade, doctors have been prescribing Nexium to patients just like you. For many, prescription Nexium helps heal acid-related erosions in the lining of the esophagus. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Avoid if you take clopidogrel. Nexium 40 milligram is only available by prescription. Talk to your doctor. For free home delivery, enroll in Nexium Direct today.
Well, hello, Cleveland. You're looking awfully pretty right now. Look at this. We've got some blue skies, but you do see those clouds starting to build up a bit. But what a beautiful view. 59 degrees today. You see the winds are getting a little gusty here, about 17 miles per hour. Out of the east is where that wind's coming from. And we are going to see the storms start to show up. So we've got plenty of sunshine right now. We are going to see heavy rain coming into your forecast in the early part of the week. I know it's not great news, but let's get you through it. It's going to be Monday morning, so get ready as you head out for your morning commute. See those temperatures, though, really warming up into the 70s, but stormy weather will be with you for the first part of your week, and we're going to keep an eye on some of those storms. Of course, we're looking out for severe weather. All of that cold air coming in because the jet stream is on the move. It's come down south. It will start to track towards the east. Cold air, warm air meeting up together. That's why we get the stormy weather right ahead of it, and as you can see, it will roll right through that Ohio Valley, including those of you in Cleveland. So take a look at the dew points. This is Monday afternoon, and the dew points here in the 60s. Look at that, 67 in St. Louis, 62 in Detroit. Warm, moist atmosphere, right? All of this tracking in that moisture coming in from the Gulf and the Atlantic, and boom, we start to get these severe storms possibly firing up here all the way from Springfield, Missouri to St. Louis, heading right into Illinois, just south of Chicago, and also into Indiana, too. Tomorrow night, you can see it really doesn't move much, so many of the same places still on the lookout. And again, there is a threat of tornadoes, so if you're in that area in red, very important to have a way to get those watches and warnings. By Tuesday, it is sliding on through the Ohio Valley, starting to track into Pennsylvania. Thunderstorms, heavy rain. We'll be looking out for the possibilities of flash flooding. And here's why. Look at this. Pockets of 3 to 5 inches of rain in parts of Iowa, heading into Wisconsin, down into Illinois as well. St. Louis for you, about 2 to 3. Cincinnati, you're going to be in that 1 to 2 range, as will Cleveland. That's between now and Wednesday. Okay, Indianapolis, another place that has to be on the lookout for the stormy weather, while today we're having a pretty nice day, right? In the 60s, a mix of sun and clouds. That warm air coming in tomorrow will get up to the 70s. Watch out for the thunderstorms. Potentially, some of them could be severe. You see it last right through Tuesday. By Wednesday, the severity is starting to ramp down, and the temperature is ramping down, too. Now, we're going to be in the low 60s in Indianapolis. Reynolds.
Yeah, nice little cool trend you got there going, Indianapolis. Well, speaking of cool, time to check out the cool views that we're seeing thanks to the amazing weather we've had around parts of the country. And some of the weather's actually been sort of frightening. Folks outside Seattle might not have believed their eyes if they saw this yesterday. A water spout right off the coast of Anderson Island. This is just south of Seattle as the crow flies. It prompted the first tornado warning from the National Weather Service in Seattle in 17 years. Last one was, can you help me? When was it?
Let's see, 1997.
There you
That's
go.
A long time ago.
There you go. And this was just afternoon yesterday. The water spout lasted for just a few minutes, but never reached land.
Wow, they're pretty wild to look at, though. Take a look at this one, Minnesota. It is a time lapse. Did I say that well? Minnesota.
I think you did that beautifully.
I tried. Okay.
Good
Anyone from
execution.
Minnesota, you can tell me how to say it correctly.
There you go.
But this is pretty wild. You see the fog is right over the Mississippi River. You get that contrast in temperature between the air and the water, helps to produce that fog.
Special times, great video. We love it. This again, you mentioned the process, but very interesting too on both sides of the river. You see it away from the river and up in space. It is spooky. Come on. Finally, it looks like the solar system is getting into the Halloween spirit. How about this this image that came really the sun from NASA last week?
It's
now,
like
how
a
did they take
pumpkin.
this? How did they take this picture?
It's so cool. It's thousands of images taken on a single day, then filtered according to wavelength. So the brighter regions show more intense magnetic activity. And it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Just
the more
saying.
you know. Hey, crazy times, folks. All right, we've got more coming up, including the crazy weather we've been dealing with. Hurricane season has been nuts, folks.
It's not over yet, though. We have to keep our guard up. In fact, we're watching a lot of activity picking up in the Atlantic. Dr. Greg Postel coming up next.
Ring, ring. Progresso. I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
Some question physics. Some question gravity. And some even have the audacity to question improbability. With best-in-class towing and best-in-class torque, these are some of the bold new Ram commercial trucks built to blow your imagination. Guts, glory, Ram.
When Mr. Clean started writing a book about his magic eraser, he found it cleans everything from stovetops to scuffed shoes and more. And when he ran out of pages, he made a website instead. Share your tips at mycleanbook.com.
In the nation, the safest feature in your car is you. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving, which for you shouldn't be a problem. Just another way we put members first, because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Put on your thinking caps. Evaporation rate equals 700 times the mean temperature divided by 100 minus the latitude plus 15 times temperature minus dew point temperature divided by 80 minus temperature times millimeter.
Your 16-year-old daughter studied day and night for a driver's test. Secretly inside, you hoped she wouldn't pass. The thought of your baby girl driving around all by herself was... you just weren't ready. But she did pass. Because she's your baby girl. And now you're proud. A bundle of nerves proud, but proud.
Get a discount when you add a newly licensed teen to your Liberty Mutual insurance policy. Call 1-844-542-3781 to learn about our whole range of life event discounts. Newlywed discount, new college graduate, and retiree discounts. You could even get a discount when you add a car. Call Liberty Mutual for a free quote today at 1-844-542-3781. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Your solution. Make the call now.
Call 800-718-6030.
If you miss Tonight on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how
of twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The sights and sounds of a tempest. That video came to us from a viewer in Okinawa as Typhoon Vongfong crossed over just late Saturday evening. This, of course, Japan time. Now, why are we still talking about this massive system today? Well, just because it is a massive system. And depending on where you are in Japan, your experience this weekend was very, very different depending on where you happen to be. Now, we're going to show you some video in just a few moments from 2 different storm chasers we work with in typhoons like the ones you saw there. First up, James Reynolds. He was in Okinawa. Okinawa, just so you'll get a little bit of a bearing here, happens to be right here. He was near Kadena Air Force Base, so that's one spot. Next up, we have Josh Morgerman. He was in Kagoshima, and that is right here, a little bit more to the north, just not far from the great island of Honshu. Now, let's start off with James Reynolds' video first, and you see it. Unbelievable. At times, visibility became very low because of all the moisture, all the salt that you have in the air. Just a relentless onslaught that you had for hours on end of just the area being battered by the heavy winds. And you see, once you had that wind that went right between these buildings, it really accelerates. It creates almost like a canyon effect. Next up, we take you from the next video, the video from Kagoshima, and you can see that, well, you have heavy wave action. Some of this so strong, you see it actually going up right along the coast and crossing over some of the roadways that are actually kind of a sort of a barrier, if you will, to the coastline. Trees swaying in the breeze. You see the signs there by the Abushu Seaside Hotel. Certainly a mess. All right, that's an idea of what people were experiencing as this monstrous storm churned its way through the Pacific. Kala?
Thank you, Reynolds. Well, Vongfong has been downgraded to a tropical storm, but its impact on Japan still being felt. Heavy rain is now the main threat across Japan. Storm chaser Josh Morgerman shared with us some of the more powerful images of the storm.
So I'm in Kagoshima, which is in the southern tip of the Japan mainland, and we're waiting for Typhoon Vongfong, which is on the way here. It's actually accelerating toward the city as I speak. The center is about 9 to 12 hours away from us. But even so, during the day, we saw a lot of effects from the storm. The main thing we saw, the sea became very activated. It just turned gray, and with these big angry swells smashing up onto the shoreline and onto the roads and flooding low-lying areas. And also very heavy winds were buffeting the coast. We saw down lampposts and things like that. Residents are mostly taking it in stride, but we did see some people boarding up windows and taking other sort of like protective measures to get ready for this storm, because there has been a lot of advanced billing on it because of how strong it was at one point while it was out in the Pacific. So the storm is going to be coming toward us, and we're expecting, like I said, the worst conditions probably around 9 a.m. tomorrow. The center of this storm, judging from all the computer models, is probably going to pass right over the city or very close, and we'll be keeping you up to date on what's going on. I'm Josh Morgerman reporting for the Weather Channel.
Well, Vongfong is still considered a threat and expected to make landfall in Kyushu province by this evening. Authorities have told 150,000 people to evacuate. We're going to head over to Reynolds now, and he's got your tropical update. Reynolds.
You know, it's amazing how the Atlantic has been relatively quiet this year, and then just the opposite in the Pacific. It has been a tempest. It has been a hotbed, a nursery, if you will, of tropical storms and hurricanes and typhoons, for that matter. Take a look at what we have in the tropics. We're following 3 things. Obviously, in the western Pacific, we're following several, but notice we're seeing noticing the Invest 91-E, then the Atlantic Tropical Storm Faye, which is affecting parts of Bermuda, and also Invest 90-L. We're going to kickstart it with Faye. You see the Latin longitude up there. It's 165 miles northeast from Bermuda, winds of 70 miles per hour. We've got deep convection that's moving up and away from Bermuda. What we anticipate is that this system is going to continue to churn its way mainly northeast, then due east over the next several days, then towards the southeast, more of a trajectory moving in that direction by Tuesday with winds of 45 miles an hour. Next up on the docket, we're following this. This is Invest 90-L, winds of 35 miles per hour. Further development, 90%. Yeah, so there's a very good chance we're going to see this possibly as a named system over the next several days. What we expect with this also is, well, if you look at the models, and we have all of them out here for you, and we call them spaghetti models as they thread their way. And notice they're basically in agreement, moving to the northwest, then kind of going up towards the northeast, possibly affecting places like Bermuda. So Bermuda, you might be dealing with really a two-act play in terms of the tropical system. So you're not out of the woods just yet. Might see a bit more. Over to Hudhud. This in the Indian Ocean, making its way on shore. Winds of 120 miles per hour, moving northwest at 9 miles per hour. Heavy rain, flooding, all but a certainty. This is a really dangerous system. We're going to keep a very sharp eye on this and notice that convection and all that moisture pulls in from the Indian Ocean. It is expected the weekend, but as it moves toward the highlands, it's going to be a huge rainmaker. Again, flooding that will be affecting millions of people. More on this story and more of what we can expect stateside. It's all coming up.
Gorilla Tape, of course. Gorilla Tape's double-thick adhesive grips rough and uneven surfaces for a strong, weather-resistant hold for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice, faster than decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
How do we get a little fun in the sun for free? I stayed one time.
We stayed another time.
And now we're all staying one night free.
Great endings begin here. Right now, when you book at any of these Choice hotels and take 2 separate trips, you earn 1 night free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
It's here, in your floor's crevices, that vacuums leave microscopic allergens like these pollens and mold spores. But the Dyson DC65 uses a self-adjusting cleaner head for improved suction on hard floors and deep cleaning on carpets, while powerful cyclone technology captures even microscopic dirt and safely locks it all in here. DC65 sucks up more dust, dirt, and allergens than any other vacuum across carpets and hard floors.
I mean, for the year.
Hi, sorry, just want to say, I bundled home an auto with State Farm, saved $760. Love this guy. So sorry.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky!
Savings worth talking about. State Farm.
All right, we got one shot. Let's go twins right, 24 stretch.
24 stretch, all diamond. Twins right, 24 stretch. All diamonds on 2 ready.
When the game's on the line.
Hit them with a hard count. See if they'll tip their hand.
The NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
They're blitzing up the gut. Get out of the pocket.
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
This is Gordon, downtown for a sales call, west side for a presentation, meeting after meeting after meeting. That's why Gordon stops at Exxon and Mobil for fuels that help his engine run cleaner, smoother, and with better fuel economy, so he can make it to the meeting that matters most. Gordon is energy. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
Let's get weather geeky this morning. I'm going to kind of walk you through the life cycle steps of a tornado, including what first begins as a funnel cloud. As it gets organized, that funnel comes all the way down to the ground. You often then see debris. Look at the shape it takes on, very cylindrical. Then gradually dissipates. Crazy stuff.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 86. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you miss Tonight on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
And welcome back to Weather Center Live. We've got two big stories that are really dominating the show today.
Yeah, and they are big. A severe weather threat and a lot of action in the tropics. And whatever you do today, by the way,
yes,
we also want you to be sending us pictures of your weekend. Tell us what it looks like and use hashtag your weekend. In fact, look at this from our own Kelly Cass.
Yeah, got pumpkins and ghosties. And look at that. Can you believe that? How diabolical. They have a Santa Claus in there. Look.
They do. It's too early.
Guys, come on. There's a time for everything.
There's a time for Santa.
It's not time for snowmen. Not just yet. Good
But we
gracious.
do love seeing pictures. So, you know, obviously that one from Kelly Cass, we'd love to see yours too.
I love Kelly.
Hashtag your weekend. Tweet it. Put it on our Facebook pages, and we'll try and get it on air for you.
You know, not only is it time for cool pictures, unfortunately, it's time for the chance of severe weather today. We do have a legitimate threat that we have to share with you. Take a look at the Torcon. Kyle, right now, 3 out of 10.
Yeah, that means about a 30% chance of a tornado in north central Oklahoma. So it means everybody has to be on alert because very dangerous weather is heading your way.
You're right about that. And I mean, it could be affecting millions of people. And you know what, Kyle? This is something we may see spill on over not just today, tomorrow, possibly into Tuesday, maybe even into early Wednesday.
Exactly, and it really affects a lot of people. It's a huge amount of ground that this severe weather can go over. So, of course, we want to get you the best information possible. For that, we head over to the lab. We've got Dr. Greg Postel.
Kyle and Reynolds, you know, you guys made some great points. This thing is going to last. Severe weather will likely start tonight in the plains and then roll its way across the south and maybe get into the east by Wednesday. So several days ahead. Let's look at the culprit. And, you know, you can look at the water vapor imagery out there and say, aha, I think I know where it is. The water vapor imagery, satellite pictures, they're nice because they show us the motions in the atmosphere at high altitudes. And when you see motions like this doing something like that, that's a big dip in the jet stream that this imagery is outlining. And inside of that, we got a whole lot of stuff. We got one thing right in there, a little swirly in here, bringing some snow to Colorado, a cold pocket aloft moving through, and associated with that, there are some very fast winds aloft, over 150 miles per hour at the jet stream level. So there's a pretty fast jet core that's out here over the Intermountain West that's about ready to propagate over the southern plains, and as it does, the atmosphere will accordingly adjust to it by lifting it. And lifting it means the creation of thunderstorms, and that will probably start maybe late this afternoon, more like tonight, I think, late this evening or tonight, across the high plains there where big storms are possible. High winds, hail, and maybe even some tornadoes. Those storms with that strong jet stream energy aloft will be able to tap a lot of energy at the ground thanks to the moisture return out of the Gulf of Mexico. I'm going to start this beginning about a half an hour from now. Watch these numbers increase across the southern plains out here. Look at these dew points. They're going to come up because the moisture will be coming out of the moist Gulf of Mexico, and that will be the fuel for the thunderstorms to grow big and strong. This is what we're seeing right now across parts of southern Texas. No severe weather with these guys, but this is a sign that moisture is coming back into the region. At least this is what is going to help set up the thunderstorms, the bigger ones, later on today off to the west. They're not going to come for a couple more hours, in part because the big dynamics aren't coming in for a couple more hours. But look at how it moves. We're talking now Monday evening. We still have this huge dip in the jet stream with very fast winds aloft doing that. And underneath that, some winds at the surface that are doing something like that. So the winds are kind of pointing in the same direction at low altitudes and at high altitudes. That means to me that the strong system will be in place, will be a squall line with maybe some individual supercells inside that could produce hail and possibly even some tornadoes. Let's time it now, beginning from 11 o'clock tonight. Watch out across the plains. There we go. We're starting to see the development of a squall line. There could be some supercells there too, so there is a tornado threat. and then we head through overnight hours. This thing only gets stronger overnight. Normally we see these things weaken overnight and in the morning hours. This is the opposite. It's probably going to intensify overnight and then become a beast to deal with by lunchtime tomorrow. There could be a nasty squall line of thunderstorms with high winds, some hail, and maybe even some embedded supercells with the possibility of some tornadoes as this whole thing moves on off that way. It's going to be long past that we're going to have to be dealing with it. And Kylan Reynolds, I know you're talking about that right now. Back to you.
Oh, I hear you, my brother from another mother. Let me tell you, we're going to be seeing some of that stuff churn its way along parts of the Gulf Coast, including this spot, New Orleans, Louisiana. Humidity is jacked. It is very, very high. You've got 85 degrees right now. Might see some cumulus form right along the coast. Might have some of those sea breeze thunderstorms. But the bigger show is going to be coming in over the next 24 to 48 hours. Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be roaring and rocking quite a bit. And we're going to show you exactly where. So we're going to go ahead and put this in motion. And as we put this in motion, we're going to advance our way into some of the elements we're going to be dealing with. First, you got this weird blue stuff. Well, that represents the cooler air you have in the jet stream that is a nice trough that's developing. With that trough, on the other side, you've got green. That Kermit the Frog green color is the moist flow you have coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. And that combined with your jet stream is going to create things that'll be a little bit, let's not say a little bit, it's going to become very unstable. And the low-level jet's going to be one of those things that's going to help those large thunderstorms, those supercells rotate. And when they rotate, well, there could be plenty of them. They will be producing quite a bit of rainfall. Let me step out of the way and give you a better idea of what to expect. You see that pocket of the severe storms. You see those thunderstorms also that are going to be stretching into the Carolinas. But it's going to be Houston. The timing from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Damaging winds, large hail, possible tornadoes. The Turcon 3 out of 10. North, we make the trip up toward Shreveport. 3 out of 10 on the Turcon, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's your timeline. Damaging winds, large hail possible. And we see that trend extend all the way up into Memphis. From Mud Island to Union Avenue, even to the steps of Graceland, you can expect possibly 2-inch hail, flash flooding, microbursts. Ladies and gentlemen, that means some damaging winds from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The forecast for tomorrow night, are we covering a lot of ground or what? Told you, millions are going to be affected by this from Indianapolis down to New Orleans, Tallahassee, Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Nashville, Indianapolis. A lot of people are going to be affected. Tomorrow night, Turcons, you want them? We got them for you. 3 out of 10 for Southeast Indiana and in Kentucky. And as we wrap it up, take a look, Kyla. Some locations, especially back into portions of the Appalachians, 3 out of 10 for Eastern Tennessee, North Alabama, and Georgia, 3 out of 10 also. Your turn.
All right, thank you, Reynolds. We're going to head to Nashville, Tennessee right now. That is the Vanderbilt campus you're looking at, about 68 degrees. We're going to warm up into the 70s. It's a Sunday. You'd think you might see those college students hanging around. Not too many up, even though it's already the afternoon. But listen, as we warm up into those 70s, remember that we're going to see cooler air coming in after the stormy weather passes you by. So in Nashville, for instance, where your average is about 73, 74 degrees, we're going to see tomorrow 80s, 83 for your high. Fall off the cliff on Wednesday. We go down 23 degrees, and you're heading down to a high of just 61. All of this cold air is pushing in, as we showed you before here. All of that cool air comes in as the jet stream tracks east, and that what makes the big difference in your temperature. So take a look at some of this. You'll see Denver 9 degrees below average tomorrow, high of just 59. Oklahoma City, look at that, 17 degrees below average. Kansas City, you'll also be in the 50s. As we track this forward, you see the storm system will move across, and again, this cooler air behind it. 72 in Cincinnati on your Tuesday, but by Wednesday, you too are in the 60s. Look at Chicago, a high of just 59 degrees. In St. Louis, you will be 10 degrees off of your average too. So get ready for it. You're going to want to break out those sweaters and jackets in Cincinnati, where your average is 68. Tomorrow, we'll make it up to that 80-degree mark. Yeah, you're not going to want your sweater then, but you're sure going to want it on Thursday when the temperature drops all the way down to 62 degrees. So a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Reynolds.
All right. You ever hear that saying that if it's cold, it might as well snow? Yeah? Yeah. All right. Well, if it is, you might want some snowfall. We're going to bring it to you. Boom. Let's show the snow video. Yahtzee. How about that? Flurries are already coming down in parts of the Rockies. We'll tell you how much is going to fall. There's a hint. Rocky Mountains.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hankook Tires.
Hankook Tire. Be one with the road, no matter the conditions.
Whoa. Nobody insures more bikes than Progressive. Do you guys ride?
Well, no.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you know anybody else who also rides, send them here. We got great coverage. It's not like bikers love their bikes more than life itself. I doubt anyone will even notice.
Leading the pack in motorcycle insurance. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
What do astronauts eat?
Have lunch with one and find out. Only at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Meet real astronauts, see Space Shuttle Atlantis, and experience firsthand the future of America's space exploration.
You know what my business philosophy is, Reynolds?
No, not exactly.
To attain success, one must project success. That's why we use FedEx One Rate.
They're flat rate shipping.
Exactly. It makes us look top notch, but we know it's affordable. Honey, haven't I asked you to please
We
use
don't
the
have a reception entrance.
Ship a pack via FedEx Express Saver for as low as $7.50.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
Since 1902, Carrier has been inventing new ways to make people comfortable. And today, comfort can also mean efficiency. Because being more efficient with your home heating can mean spending less on it. And that's something everyone can get comfortable with. If you're ready for Carrier Comfort, now you can get cool cash rebates of up to $1,450 on a new system. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Hi, welcome.
Hi.
I have a boyfriend jean.
I definitely like the dark. They don't have sizes. No sizes?
Can I measure you?
Sure.
You are radiant.
Oh. Confident.
I'm size strong. I like that size.
I got a compliment from Jeans today. I feel so good.
To feel amazing, I think that's what makes a woman beautiful.
Edward Jones, this is Shirley speaking. How may I help you? Oh, hey, Neil. How are you? How was the trip?
With nearly 7 million investors,
He's right here. Hold on one second.
you'd expect us to have a highly skilled call center.
Kevin, Neil Hawley's on line 1.
Okay, great. And we do. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
My scalp hurts. My hair hurts.
This is what it can be like to have shingles. A painful, blistering rash.
Look at me.
She's embarrassed by the way she looks.
If you had chickenpox, the shingles virus is already inside you. 1 in 3 people will get shingles in their lifetime. As you get older, your immune system weakens, and it loses its ability to keep the shingles virus in check.
Well, I had to go to the eye doctor last week, and I have to go back today.
The doctor's worried it was so close to her eye.
The shingles rash can last up to 30 days.
It hurts. It's hard.
Don't wait until someone you love develops shingles. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about your risk.
Well, take a look at this. This is snow west of Denver as I-70 moves into the higher elevations. They've actually had to close the interstate around several mile markers due to accidents this morning. Yeah, the roads get really slick. This system is the same one that will cause these severe storms, that outbreak that we've been talking about that will be later tonight east of the Rockies. It is awfully pretty, the snow, but it does come with some hazards, and certainly, unfortunately, that's one of them. So get your head back into that driving in the snow thing, right? Snow is going to be happening for parts of the Rockies as we go throughout our afternoon and evening. And you can see we've got incredibly fast winds aloft. It helps us to get that uplift as we take a look at our water vapor map there. We do have the winter alerts that are up, winter weather advisories for parts of Wyoming, and certainly right there to Steamboat Springs, Aspen down to Lake City, up in the mountains where everybody goes skiing. And you do see some of that snow coming down right now. That's the light blue on the radar. You know, it's this time of year we start seeing those different colors again, the blues and the pinks. The blue is the snow. Pink is kind of that wintry mix. This is the area where the highway has been closed from Vail to Silverthorne, so right along I-70. As you know, there aren't many ways to get up there, right, when you're trying to go up to Vail. So just be mindful of that if you have those travel plans in your afternoon. As we zoom out here, too, you can see also along I-80, right near Centennial, we've got some more snow coming down and a little bit of a rainy mix to the north of I-80 there on the way to Cheyenne. So between now and Tuesday, pockets of the Rockies, and that does include those of you in and around the Aspen area, we could see those 3 to 5 inch range for some places, but it's going to be mostly 1 to 3. But still, that's some nice fresh powder for those of you who enjoy skiing. So it's a good thing for that. Of course, they call that white gold in places where the ski resorts, they love to see the snow once they're open and everybody can come on up and ski. But be careful out there, Reynolds, right? You got to make sure you got the chains on your tires if you're heading into the snow.
Now, you're right about that. And to give people an idea what to expect as we ease into this Sunday, which means many of you are going to be around for the TV watching your NFL teams. Let's talk about a few of these games and see if your weather's going to cooperate. First on deck, you take a look at the Green Bay Packers. They're going to be visiting the Miami Dolphins. We can expect a mix of sun and clouds and wind to the east-southeast at 12 miles an hour. Next up, we take you to Paul Brown Stadium in beautiful Cincinnati, where the Carolina Panthers are going to be taking on the Bengals. Mostly cloudy, wind east-southeast, not too much of a factor. We're going with winds around 6 miles per hour. We take a gander at this Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia at the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. 56 degrees, mainly clear skies. The kickoff, wind east-southeast at 7 miles per hour. But those 3 games aren't the only ones we're watching today. You get this one, too, in Seattle. You get the Cowboys taking on the Seahawks. 59 degrees, cloudy skies, wind south-southwest at 7 miles per hour at Century League Field. And then we end up where we started, back in Miami Gardens. Kyle, who do you like in this game? We got Green Bay Packers and Miami Dolphins.
Okay, I'm going to have to go Miami Dolphins because I did spend part of my childhood in Florida.
Yeah.
So no offense to the Green Bay fans. I'm sure you're fabulous people, but I'm going to have to go more home team.
How do you think the Dolphin pass defense is going to be today, trying to face the aerial attack brought on by the Green Bay Packers?
It's going to be tough, really tough.
I haven't the slightest idea either. I just brought it up because I was trying to stump her, but you can't stump.
You know what?
There you go.
That's what happens when you work with Reynolds.
These are good times.
Stick some weather in there and I can help you out.
Absolutely. You know, some of the other games are going to be saying we leave that spot. Again, we were talking about Cincinnati, too. Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton.
That's not bad, that weather. Pretty
What do you
good
think
there.
of between these two teams? Who do you like?
Yeah, you can make me pick sides.
You have to. You got to.
I like the blue. I'm going Carolina Panthers.
Blue is good. That's
I'm
Cam
wearing
Newton's
blue.
team, Auburn guy. The next step we're going to go to, I want your opinion on this one. Lincoln Financial Field. You've got the New York Giants and the Eagles.
That's tough. Philly and New York, that's tough. I'm taking Giants.
Okay. All right. You know, one person who always scores when it comes to touchdowns in the tropics, we're talking about Dr. Postel. And Dr. Postel, I know you have got some new information for us.
Reynolds, I do. Scoring touchdowns in the tropics. You're classic. You know, let's have a look at the visible satellite picture because remember earlier today we were talking about Invest 90L? Guess what? It's now a tropical storm. Let's go to the graphic real quick. I can show you where it is. Now closing in on the Lesser Antilles of the Caribbean here. This is in the Atlantic Ocean, and this is a system that we'll be watching very closely. I will have much more on this in the tropical update coming right up after the break, guys. Stay tuned.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Blah, blah, insurance. Person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. 6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you get to a better state.
Thought it'd be bigger.
nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Weekdays on the Weather Channel. It all starts with the weather. AMHQ.
America's morning headquarters with Sam Champion. The Weather Channel's new morning show.
Not just a morning forecast, a morning show.
Looking ahead at the day's news, sports, entertainment, and more.
Always looking ahead, helping you forecast your day.
America's morning headquarters, AMHQ with Sam Champion. Weekday mornings at 7, only on the Weather Channel. It all starts with the weather.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, partly cloudy. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 77. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Let's take these piggies out for new carpet. No, not those. These. Let's get in touch with texture. Something with a twist. Let's look at loops and get a feel for patterns in all sorts of colors. But let's not break the bank. Then, let's get it rolled out right. The perfect carpet? Yeah. Let's bring it all the way home. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, save 10% on carpet with your Home Depot credit card.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building. Turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
There. Hot stuff.
Not turning the thermostat down.
That's not what I was doing. I was just having fun. Come here. Nice and tight. Atta girl. Hey, there's a sweet spot. Hold on. That didn't happen in practice.
There's a better way. Mitsubishi Electric Systems give you the temperature you want in any room with no ductwork and lower energy bills. Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating. Live better. Go to MitsubishiComfort.com.
Many Americans who have prescriptions fail to stay on them. That's why we created programs which encourage people to take their medications regularly. So join us as we raise a glass to everyone who remembered today. Bottoms up, America.
Latte or Olay? Cozy or cool? Exactly the way you want it. Until boom, it's bedtime. Your mattress is a battleground of thwarted desire. Enter the Sleep Number bed. Right now, you can save $400 on our most popular bed. He's the softie. His Sleep Number setting is 35. You're the rock at 60. And snoring? Sleep Number's even got an adjustment for that. You can only find Sleep Number at a Sleep Number store. Right now, save $400 on our most popular bed plus 36-month special financing. Hurry, ends Columbus Day. No better sleep with Sleep Number.
Fall TV is here, and Xfinity On Demand has all of the premieres and latest episodes. Check out the hottest new and returning shows, including Madam Secretary.
You may have picked up on this. I'm not big on protocol.
Gotham.
You can't begin to imagine the pressure we don't close this thing quick.
So let's close it quick.
And The Blacklist.
Why involve me? I'm nobody.
Oh, I think you're very special.
Watch what you love now and keep up all season long with Xfinity.
List at 1-800-580-8776. That's 1-800-580-8776 or go to wandeck.com today.
If you miss Tonight on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. Time for your tropical update. I'm hurricane specialist Dr. Greg Postel with the latest on developments in the Atlantic, believe it or not. It's the middle of October. You might be thinking, how is it possible it's going to happen in the Atlantic? But you know what? It is. We have a tropical storm Gonzalo. This is Tropical Storm Gonzalo. Now, not too far away from the Lesser Antilles of the Caribbean. We have some winds here, 13, 7, but that's a long way from the circulation. There it is, cluster of thunderstorms right there. Big thunderstorms, they've hung out there long enough. There is an area of low pressure kind of underneath those thunderstorms. So when you put those together, you get a tropical storm, and that's what we have. And, you know, actually, I'm looking at it right now. It looks kind of like a fancy schmancy talk, kind of like a sheared tropical storm right now. In other words, there are probably some winds aloft blowing from that direction, making all the bad weather here, and more so on the right or east side of probably where the circulation center is. Just an early guess at what we've got there. So this is it. Tropical Storm Gonzalo, the G storm in the Atlantic alphabet, 40 miles per hour on the wind speed, moving west at 10. The westward motion is probably going to bring some kind of showery and gusty weather and some squally weather to parts of the Caribbean island there. Now, let me show you the cone. I think that's what I have here, right? Yeah, there it goes. This is all fresh information. That's why we're going through it kind of slowly for you, but the idea is there is Gonzalo, and it's going to strengthen probably to a hurricane. But you know what? Like we've been saying all along, this is not really a surprise that it's going to be heading out that way. And I think I might be able to explain why. It's because what we've got in the jet stream over the next few days, if you look at the jet stream pattern midweek, right?